Hello people, what is going on? Challenge you guys coming at you here with a fantastic hands-on preview video of this brand new spanking revamped Xelor. And before we begin here, of course there's going to be chapter breaks. The way I'm going to approach this, as if you guys see my other preview videos of revamped classes, is I'm going to go through each elemental branch. I talk about the spells, talk about what they do, and stuff of that nature. So if you're interested in a particular branch, feel free to jump into that into those chapters. And a quick disclaimer is that this is a video from beta. It is currently 11/11/2023. So beta launch at the beginning of the week. That being said, whatever you see here in this video might change from the final build or the final update. So, you know, damage output, effects, ranges, and stuff like that. Little stuff in there get tweaked. I'd say it stays 90% intact, but do keep in mind that it probably will be 1-to-1 to what's in the game and to what I'm showing off here in the beta preview video. So without further ado, we're gonna start off with the air path. So let's get right in there. Gonna challenge this Eno here. So because due to the nature of the Xelor, it's got a lot of quirks and shenanigans, I am going to be using another character to showcase some of the spells and effects. Because, yeah, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. I did kind of mess with it just a little bit. But, yeah, so here I have my agility set. I just have you know, the go-to Eva Torin with Alistair set, nothing crazy, nothing special, it's not optimized. But so first off, we're gonna start off with Frostbite. So at level 6, 23 to 25 damage, teleports to the previous position. Okay, and it does have a prismatic variation. So prismatic variation is a mechanic where if you siphon or if you reflect a spell through your dial, it's going to have an extra little kick to it, or a little perk. So you can see here the dial here, it is not available during the first turn, and you could have to wait until your second turn comes around to use it. So speaking of the dial, we're going to plop this here. Actually, you know what, let's go through the support spells first. Dial, so this is going to be a very important spell for all the branches across the board, because you're going to want to reflect stuff off of it. It costs 2 AP. At level 6 it does have 900 HP, and it's got pretty good resistances with 30% across the board. So let's see if my Eno goes over there and tries to rush. Let's see here, let's see if we could be a little bit aggressive here. So, okay, so my Eno did get close to killing this thing. With a little bit, maybe a higher damage rolls. I think there might be, and my Eno, you know, it's an Eno. You know, he hits pretty good for an Eno, but the Eno is not exactly known for, you know, damage output. So there is a chance where, you know, they could rush, you know, things could rush your dial, which the good thing about it is it doesn't have a cooldown. So it survived here, so we can start reflecting stuff off of it. But we'll leave it there. So that's the dial, which is an integral part to proccing telefrags and the prismatic stuff. Flight. So flight got changed a little bit. It does not work like it did before, where you could, you know, it was kind of like getting extra MP. Pretty much you could jump around one extra square at a time. Now what it does is whatever previous position you were in, it's going to take you one square into that path. So pathing is going to be really important here, because flight is going to keep track of it. So if we, here, let's end our turn here. So say we take an L here, right? If we use flight, flight is gonna take us back through that path. You won't use it twice per turn, but if we use it again during our next turn here, and if we don't move, it's gonna shoot us down here because that's what we did previously. So it's kind of like a how would I explain this? Like a rewind, one square at a time. That's what that is. Practical uses might be that, say my Inu's over here, right? And I go up to him. Say I'm not agility, right? I really suffer when it comes to dodge and locking stuff, so I could go up to him, whack him. And maybe it's like, okay, maybe I need to get out of my way for some reason, or I need to get out of there, and then so I can move freely afterwards, right? So it lets you bypass kind of the dodge and lock mechanic, and maybe if you're blocking a line of sight, especially when it comes to PvP, it lets you get out the way. I don't think it's as good as it used to be, where you can gain extra distance pretty much however you want it. So it does have that small quirk where it works a little bit different. Next up, we do have Rewind. So Rewind teleports the target to the cell where they started their turn, and it puts them in the telefrag state. So are we in a telefrag state? So does this not give us telefrag? Okay, flight. Can generate a telefrag. Can I use this on somebody else? No, I can't. Maybe on an ally. Let's see, maybe... Okay, I do have this guy here. So let's get that guy out there. Let's see if he moves around. That's a turn there. No, I can't use it on allies, it's just me. But it's not putting in telefrag. It's kind of weird. Okay, either way, that is flight. I think we moved on to Rewind. Teleports the target to a cell where they started their turn. So if I use this, okay, I can't use. Okay, so it's to say that did some stuff, and he went over there, and then he went like this, and then he came over here. Okay, so he did a lot of movement. So if I go up to him and hit him with the Rewind. Oh wait, so does it work like it used to work? Okay, let's see. Okay, is this not What? Nothing happened. Nothing happened, so let's see. Teleports the targeted ally, okay. So I think we could use this. Okay, so let's move the Inu here. And return. Okay, so let's get the Inu over here. Get you over here. Okay, so I should be able to rewind that skeleton guy. Okay, there it goes. That's the rewind. And then let's see if it works on ourselves. Okay, so let's hit ourselves. Oh, this has a pretty big range there too. We got rewind on. Do we have the rewind state? I don't see it on here. And then we kind of move around, we do stuff, and then earn our turn. Okay, so it more or less works the same way it used to work. Can generate a telefrag state. Oh, you know what? Okay, okay. So this is where the little quirks come into place. Do I have release? I do not have release. I don't have release because this used to be a Saram, and Saram never used release. Because, yeah, so I think it generates a telefrag. So say I'm here, right, in this little spot, and I move, I don't know, I move around, right, I move around, and I do something where I put something onto the cell where I was, and if I do rewind, I would switch positions with whatever was there, and that would cause the telefrag. Okay, I see. It's a little finicky to pull off, but that's where you would trigger a telefrag. So that's that. Okay, so let's move on to mummification. Mummify 2 states, gravity state, you get power, 2 AP, and you get a little bit of a defensive buff right there. 90% damage sustained. What else does it do? Increases damage and AP and gravity reduction in damage suffered, but applies to gravity and mummify states to the target. In the mummified state, it is no longer possible to teleport targets or generate Okay, so this is a pretty it's a pretty tanky spell, right? To use it on yourself, I think it more or less works the same way it used to. Here. Yeah, there you go. Pretty straightforward. You get a little bit of AP, but does it? Okay. All right, so that's Mummy. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's get out of Mummy here. All right. So this is a brand new spell, Temporal Prison. Teleports to the previous position 1 turn. Okay, teleports to the previous position. When the target initiates or endures a move via a spell, the target is teleported to its previous position after the spell is complete. May be triggered 1 time per turn. What is this? When the target initiates or endures a move. Okay, so I guess we'll use it on ourselves. Okay, now let's go here. What does this do? Okay, so we still have it on. So the Eno comes in here, and we move. Oh, so it kind of sticks. It sticks you to that space. Okay, so if we, let's see, we go here, accelerate. This guy does have release. Okay, so I did release on him there, but it didn't trigger. Number of turns between. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, that was interesting. When the target initiates or endures a move via spell, the target is teleported to its previous position after the spell is complete. So it's kind of like a reverse rewind. Is that what that is? So we go here, and if we go here, right? So it's kind of like a pseudo root state, right? Okay, so I have the state on in that turn, and then the Eno comes in here and releases me. There you go. Okay, Yeah, so okay, so that's an dude, PvP is gonna be crazy with the seller. It's gonna have a lot of little crazy shenanigans. So temporal prison, it pretty much is no matter what, you're gonna be stuck into that space. So in terms of like positioning, especially as an agility seller, it's like, oh, you got somebody locked, and there's something they could do about it. You know, they're gonna try to release you, but in the end, they can't. So that's an interesting spell. Super cool. I like it. Okay, next up is, how do you say this? Cephalgia? Cephalgia. Cephalgia. What does that even mean? I don't even know. Okay, let's see. 4 AP. 1 duration of effects. -1 duration of effects. Removes a telefract state. Increases the duration of effects present on all allies in a telefract state. Reduces the duration of effects present on enemies in a telefract state by 1 turn. Consumes the telefract state on all targets hit. On the next casting, the duration increase and decrease are inverted. What? Huh? 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 Shout out if you know where that meme comes from. Okay, so if I'm reading this right, and so you know how there's Bewitchment, and that kind of is like -3 duration of effect. So this is kind of like Bewitch, but like reverse as well. Okay, I mean, good thing I have an Inu here. So let's do this. Okay, I need to tell it. How do I telefrag easily? It's like no, that's not telefrag. Okay, what's gonna make me okay. How can I easily telefrag? Teleport? Symmetrically tap. Okay, you know what? Okay, so with the Inu, let's do greed, because that's gonna affect everybody, right? So 2 turns on the Inu, 2 turns on the seller here. Okay, so now this. We're gonna pass a turn here. Okay, so we got 2 turns on greed, right? Across the board. If we do the spell here, and it's a global spell, Cephalgia. Okay. What did that do? What did that do? I don't know. Okay, so if I'm thinking about this right, this is gonna say 2 on me. It's gonna give me an extra turn of greed, but it's gonna give him 1 extra turn of the greed. So if I end my turn, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know what happened. Okay, you know what? Let's try that again. Let's try it again. Guys, this is gonna be a long video. This is just the support spells. Or does this just pertain to seller specific? Okay, so okay, how do I telefrag? Where's that seller punch move? Okay, so that being said, teleportation, you need a target to teleport. You can't just willy-nilly teleport into a blank space like you used to before. So the way teleport works is that you need a target to kind of flip over. So let's, alright, let's do a turn there. And a turn. Okay. So say I'm here, right? So it's gonna put me symmetrically to the other side. So we're gonna teleport over the Ina there. Does that give us telefrag? No. Okay. So, all right. You know what? I know how to proc it. No, but that's gonna be on an ally. You know what? Okay, so let's start messing with dial stuff. Okay, I need a teleport. Okay, so we teleport across this thing. We're gonna proc a telefrag because we're swapping with another character. Okay, so that gave me 2 AP. Oh, there he goes, telefrag. And he's in and Inu's telefrag as well. So now if I use this crazy Cephalogist spell, that should increase my telefrag state and reduce his telefrag. I don't know. Okay, there we go, there we go. What does that say? Okay, I cast a spell, -1 effect duration on me, and 1 effect duration on him. And it removes the telefrag states. I don't know, man. This spell's kind of weird. I don't know if I'm reading it right. Let me read the increases the duration of effects on allies in the telefrag state by 1 turn. Okay, you know what? This might be something we might have to come back to. Because that removed my AP. The AP I got from the teleport state. You know what? Let's okay, you know what? Let's set this up again. Let's set this up again. Okay, so we are going to greed, right? Universal. Everybody's got 200 power. Okay, we're gonna end that turn there. We are gonna proc a telefrag. Okay. And then we are gonna, oh shoot, that cooldown. It's okay, we're still in telefrag. Right, yeah. Okay, so if I do this now. Oh, okay. So it does work like how I thought it would. So, but you need to be okay. Okay, so this is a little. This takes a lot of hoops to. It's a little bit too complicated. So, in order for this to work, it seems like you need to be in a telefrag state to take advantage of this. Otherwise, it doesn't do anything. So, as a requirement. As a requirement, you have to be able to proc a I'm confusing myself with this. Yeah, this is a weird one. So, as a requirement, whatever character or those characters need to be in a telefrag state. So already you need to be, you would have needed to proc a telefrag. So then after that, if you have any buffs. Those buffs, you're going to get an extra turn from them if they come from your allies. And your enemies, if they have any buffs on them, they're going to lose a turn of those buffs. A little bit weird. Might be, I don't know. This is a little bit too complicated, but we're going to move on. The next spell is going to be rollback. Teleports to the previous spells. Spell position. Alright, so this, I think, more or less works the same way. Wait, no it doesn't. Teleports to the previous position. Okay, so let's proc that. So that doesn't return you to your starting position your starting position of the fight. So let's go back into that cooldown again. Okay, so let's move around. Move over here. We're gonna move over here. And then we are gonna do a rollback. So that's kind of like a universal flight. That's what it looks like. And like a flight here. So yeah, it doesn't work like it used to. It's more like a global flight. You're applying flight to everything. I don't know how I feel about that. And then of course, if there's anything occupying where you were, you're gonna proc a telefry. So that should be it. That should be all the support spell, guys. Let's go through them again. Just like a recap, Xelor's Dial. This is gonna be your bread and butter, no matter what build you are. Air, water, intelligence. This is gonna be a tool you're gonna use because you're gonna want to reflect spells. You're gonna use it to reflect your teleportations. You're gonna use it to proc prismatic variations and stuff like that. So definitely you're gonna want to level this. Level 6. It might die and stuff like that, but after the first turn, it doesn't have a cooldown. The only thing I do wish this was kind of 0 AP, because if it does get killed, you lose on a 2 AP, and then you have to always use 2 AP to get this out. So that's one of my biggest complaints. It's not really a complaint. Feedback is that I would maybe 1 AP. I think 2 AP might be a little too much, because of course this being a bread and butter tool for the seller, PvP, right? People are going to go after this thing, right? And 2 of your AP are going to get devoted just to summoning this thing over and over again. You guys saw my Inu could almost kill it. I'm pretty sure with some good rolls, it could kill it in one turn. But it might be a good thing or a bad thing, because then, actually, it's not too bad. It is kind of bulky, because, my Inu spent like 90% of its turn trying to kill this thing, right? So that pretty much, it puts you in a position where if they go after the dial, they gotta use some resources to get rid of it. So, okay, that makes sense. Flight, it takes you back one step to where you were. So keep in mind your pathing, especially. Why do I have only 4 AP? 4 MP. I don't know why I have 4 MP, but be mindful of how you path your character, because your flight is gonna take you back through that path. Rewind. This is allies only. You can no longer rewind your opponents. So that kind of rewinds you. Oh. So if you move again, like say if you want to rush in somewhere, but you want to stay safe, right? If you want to rush into here, it more or less works the same way as it used to. When you end your turn, it pops you back. The only difference is you can't use it on enemies anymore. Or, yeah. Mummy, more or less works the same. It's more like it turns you into a tank. You get AP, defensive, offensive boost. Temporal Prison. Which one? Temporal Prison. This one's interesting because it kind of sticks you to a square. It's kind of like a weird rooted state type of thing. Where here, I'll go ahead and show it off here again for the recap. So if I go here, and this is a good cell to be in. I don't want to be pushed around anywhere. I don't want to get pushed. Especially, this is gonna be handy for like Nilesa, right? Because it's gonna push you into like the dead zone, right? So you could put a temporal prison around yourself. So let's pretend this Inu's Nilesa, right? Or anything. This is gonna be useful for, especially for S3s. Like you gotta stay on a glyph, but you don't want to be pushed off of it. right? So the Inu goes here, releases, or just I'm just gonna snap back into that square. From what I see, it only works once per character, maybe. Because if I use a deposit, yeah, so and it works once. So I don't know, might be useful. Might it won't. I don't know. I don't know how useful it would be. Rollback is pretty much a universal flight. What am I missing? Teleportation. Teleportation, you need a target to flip over to land on the other side. And then, of course, there's that weird cephalalgia spell where anybody in a telefract state, be it your allies or your enemies, if it's your allies, they're going to get an extra turn of buffs. If it's your enemies, they're going to lose a turn of their buffs. So a little bit weird. I don't know. Again, I don't know how useful that would be in PVM. But those are the support spells so far. Am I missing anything? Am I missing a support person? Representation? No, I think that's it. All right, guys. So this is the support spell portion of it. Next up, we are gonna do the air path. So I'll be right back, and just let me reset this fight here. See you in a bit. Alright guys, and we are back. We're going to check out the agility build. As for my set here, I just have just your go-to Ava Torin with Sacrificial Daggers and Alistair set. It's not optimized, nothing crazy, but that's what I'm using here. Let's see. So let's go to the spells here. So according to Ankama, the air path is concentrated on debuffing opponents with either AP or MP removal. And that's what it says. So we're going to start off with Frostbite. 23 to 25 damage. Inflicts air damage on enemies and teleports the target to its previous position. Okay, so let's see. So let's say the Inu kind of moves around. Kind of goes here. And he kind of goes here. Alright, so if I hit him with a Frostbite, yeah, he's just going to move one square. And I can hit him again. And he's going to jump back along that path he took. So much like, it's kind of like flight for your enemies. Does it have any perks? It does have a perk of prismatic variation. So prismatic variation is when you funnel the spell through a dial. It does something extra, pretty much. So, no wait, prismatic variation. When cast through a dial, it is executed symmetrically in relation to the dial. Okay, so what that does here, so let me line up here. So if you guys saw the support version, the support portion of this, I didn't know that the dial is going to be very important to all the branches. So if I go here, and I do love the update they did with kind of the preview thing, because here I can see that I'm not exactly symmetrical there. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit too. Okay. Okay, so as you can see here, right? If I target a dial with it, it's gonna bounce symmetrically, pretty much on the other side. So you gotta be mindful on your positioning relative to whatever you want to hit, right? So if I wanted to hit that spot here, I'm in the perfect place. But if I wanted to hit this Inu here, I'm not exactly sure that is the spot I want to be. So beginners, you know, you're gonna have to mess around with this, right? So alright, so I got one square close there. And there we go. So now isometrically with the Inu there, it's a little weird kind of L shape here. But nonetheless, asymmetrical. And I can snipe them around, pretty much if I don't have the way this is going to be useful, if you don't have line of sight, right? Say the Inu's around the corner, you can snipe them with the dial with a bounce of bouncing the spell off the dial. So here, and obviously he moves, so I would have to move. Is it up or down? I move to up one to kind of relocate myself, and then I can hit him again, right? And there we go. Yeah, and then every time he moves, of course, you know, I gotta adjust myself. So I can see this being a little bit confusing to beginner players, but that it is okay damage. 400 damage. It looks like it's more of a positioning tool and just kind of sniping stuff around corners. I could see that being useful. But that is frostbite, and you can use it two times per turn. And of course, if they switch play, if you hit them, and if they switch places due to the fact because they're being rewind to a previous cell, yeah, it's gonna put them in a telephorex state. So next up, we do have slowdown. This used to be a water spell that, you know, it did a little bit. It did like it wouldn't. It did a little bit of damage, but the big thing is it would reduce AP pretty much. It would nip at people pretty much. But here, it looks like it's more or less the same. The damage ain't crazy. 11 to 13 at level 6. And it removes AP from the target and inflicts air. Okay, so let's go over here. Slow down. We got the 2 AP there. Can we use it again? We can. Okay, so, you know, if you are stocked up with AP removal, there's a good chance you can remove a good chunk of AP. Good chunk of AP. The Inu, let's see, he does have, yeah, it's not crazy with AP resistance. But here, let's hit him again. Got the 2 AP there. And 1 AP. Yeah, so more or less you could reduce like 3. So not too bad, not too crazy. Okay, but it does have a prismatic variation. Cast to the dial removes MP from the target. So it kind of flips. Instead of AP, it goes to MP. And if you guys saw my video on when I went through the look at that, I'm messing up my reflections. If you saw my video where I was going through like the written update of what they wanted to do with the Xelor, you know, it makes sense that it would remove NP because he does slow down people. But yeah, so if I bounce it off of here, 2 MP right there, and I think it's yeah, so more or less you're gonna be reducing like around 3-ish. Yeah, and it's gonna crazy when people are gonna be pulling off like crazy reflections off this thing. Let's see. Okay, so say I want to hit him with a reflection here, I would have to go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think I'll put a dial here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, where does that land? And you go up. And over here. Yeah, so people are gonna be good with Xelor are just gonna be able to do this like right off the bat here. There we go. And then I can hit him with this here too. Reflect. A lot of shenanigans. A lot of oh, and then we did kill him, but we're gonna jump back into it again. Like I was saying, it's gonna be a lot of shenanigans with the Xelor. Okay, so next spell is Clock. This used to be a water spell. Steals 2 MP. Removes Telefrag state. Inflicts air damage and okay, so let's hit him. And you only can do it once per turn. Okay, so can I reflect this off? Okay, so I can't. Okay. Prismatic variation. When you cast through the dial, the spell inflicts air damage and steals AP. So it's kind of like the inverse of a slowdown. So slowdown and clock kind of go hand in hand, where they kind of do the same thing, but they're reverse. So just raw, it removes MP. So I could go like this. Let me see. So I could go like this. Did he not? Oh, this is steel. Okay, let's try it again. Why am I not stealing? Steals 1 turn, steals 2 MP. Oh, they gotta be telefragged. Ah, this is another one where it's like you need a prerequisite to kind of get the full. Okay, so let's do that. Let's teleport over. Okay, so he's telefragged, so I could go over here. Okay, so let's hit him with the slowdown. Okay, so we got 2 MP there. And then did we steal? Did we steal? Yeah, so we got 2 extra okay. Oh, this is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, man. So the Eno only has 1 MP now. So yeah, man, this gonna PvP. I see this being super cool, super exciting, super interesting to look out. PVM, I'm not feeling that great about. I mean, as far as the air agility build is concerned, because again, reducing MP doesn't do you much in Frigos or anything like that. But as you saw, like this is the kind of like stuff you could do once you start getting the hang of the telefrag, the reflections, inversing those kind of spells through the prisms and prismatic variation and stuff like that. So yeah, I was able to remove how much? 4 MP from this Inu, and I did this in decent amount of damage along the way, so not too bad. So that is clock. Yeah, if you use it raw, it's just damage, which is not too bad. Probably get like 500 out of it with a good set. But even okay, so even if we flip over here, yeah, this is not gonna proc. This is not gonna proc the, and this is AP steel. So let's look at that. So if we teleport 12 AP here. So he parried 1 AP. Wait, did I read this wrong? No, yeah, so a prismatic variation, it steals AP from an opponent. He parried. Okay, Xelor, cast Xelor's dial. Okay, so I'll jump it up here. The Xelor cast clock on Xelor's dial, and now I reflect it, and he parried 1 AP and removed telefrag, but it didn't give me AP. Okay, let's try it again. I think. So let's flip over. Okay, let's try it again. And this is why I am showing this off with a second character, because obviously the pouch doesn't have AP or MP to remove. So that's just why I'm showing it like this. Okay, alright, so let's set the dial here. Let's telefrag. Okay, and now let's clock. Okay. Oh, so teleport. Teleport has no cooldown, so y'all can keep. Okay, it's good to know. Okay, teleport, telefrag. Okay, there we go. There's that steal. Yeah, so you do. I don't know if it's bugged or not, but I would assume if you remove the AP, you're gonna steal it. And you could go here and remove some. Yeah, so much like the MP removal thing I showed off, you can do that same thing with AP. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit harder. And then our last spell. Not our last spell. Oh no, no, no. Temporal Dust. Temporal Dust. So this spell here, I like what they did here. So this is not a hybrid spell. This is a dual mode spell. So no matter if you're an agility build or a water build, you can use this spell within your toolbox without having invested in the other element. So the way it works, whatever spell, whatever color spell is on the left hand side, that's the primary the primary element to that spell. So in this case, temporal spell is naturally an agility spell. But because of the prismatic variation, it becomes a water spell. So you don't necessarily have to make a agility a chance build to take full advantage of this, because it's a dual mode. See, it's one or the other. It's not like a hybrid spell or like a purple spell where like, okay, you're gonna get the most out of it if you hit with both elemental damages at the same time. So keep that in mind with these. So even though the agility pass has 1, 2, 3 air spells here, this counts as an air spell, and this counts as an air spell as well. So I like to put this here because this kind of expands the pool of the branch without necessarily sacrificing a spell from another branch to add it to this one. So with that being said, this one steals wisdom. Sorry, so let's put some summons out here with. Okay, so we're gonna put a living chest here. Do we have? Let's see if I have this spell here. Okay, so this is an AoE spell. Inflicts air damage in a square and steals wisdom from opponents. Okay, so right now I have 42 AP and resistance removal. We're going to target the square here in the center. And I'm going to steal wisdom from all these guys. As you can see here, I gained 100 wisdom, which of course is going to help me with removing. And can I do it? Oh, I can do it twice. So did I just increase by 200 wisdom? Okay, so if I pass my turn here, did it not update? Let me see, let's look at my stats. Yeah, I know I have 500 wisdom. So of course, the more opponents you have, the more you're gonna steal. So if we, oh yes, you guys see the number here go down. It went from 500 to 300. So super cool spell. Just it's gonna help you with the. I think this spell really enforces the AP MP removal of the of this path. You definitely want to hit people with this to increase your chances of draining AP and MP. It is an AoE spell, which is nice. There you go. Deals okay damage. Yeah, so it definitely this branch here, you're not going to be outputting a whole lot of damage. You are going to be disrupting the field a lot. And that is temporal dust. And of course, if you hit it through the dial, it's gonna do the same thing, but it's gonna hit for water. And lastly, our last spell over here is gonna be hand. So hand again, because the left hand side of the spell icon is red. It is naturally an intelligence spell, but if you filter it through, if you reflect it through the dial, it's gonna turn into an agility spell. So on an enemy inflicts air damage. The damage is greater if the target is in telefract state. Okay, so let's go over here. So this is okay. So it does show you. So it's good. So maximum it does. Let's say 398 non-telefrag. But if we telefrag, 398 goes to, oh, that's a big bump of damage. 398 to 500. Can we use it more than once? And it removes the state. So you're only gonna get that buff once. Does it do anything else? No, that's it. It's pretty much just pretty straightforward damage spell. So that should be it with the agility path. Let's do a quick recap. Frostbite is kind of like a flight for your enemies while doing damage, and you can bounce it off the dial. You don't really get any perks. Go back in there. Go challenge. So yeah, you could hit somebody with telefrag. I mean with frostbite, and it's just gonna send them back to that square where they were previously, or it's gonna send them back through that path. So hit him here. Okay, hit him again. And then if you mirror it, it does the same thing. You don't get you don't get anything different. So slowdown. Slowdown is gonna remove AP. If you reflect it off a dial, it's gonna remove MP instead. Clock. Much like slowdown, it's going to do the inverse. Naturally, it's going to steal MP, but if you reflect it, it's going to steal AP. And it might look like these two are doing the same thing, but this one's draining and this one's stealing. So if you steal 2 MP, this spell pretty much costs you 1 AP. Temporal Dust, AoE spell in a little square. You guys can see the square here. Whatever you hit, you're going to steal Wisdom, which is going to help you with removing AP and MP. And then lastly, you have Hand, in which when you mirror it, and you're going to want to mirror it as a full agility build, because that's how you're going to be doing the most damage out of it. No, here, let me run it back. So this is pretty much a straightforward damage spell, right? Here, let's do the dial here. Okay, so this is a straightforward damage spell as long as you reflect it, because reflect it, it's gonna hit in agility. It's gonna hit in air, which is what you want because that's where you're invested in. But if whatever you're hitting is in a telefrag state, you're gonna get a boost of damage because of that. So if I say if I telefrag us here. Okay, so just raw, that's gonna do 398. But with a telefrag state, that goes up to 500. So it's doing an extra like 100 damage, pretty much. But other than that, it's pretty much a raw damage spell. And that is the agility path, folks. It's I don't know how I feel about it. It is a little bit complicated, especially I definitely won't recommend this for beginners. It's a little crazy. It is a little crazy, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you guys find interesting? Do you guys find appealing? I know this is going to be very popular for PvP, 1 versus 1, 3-on-3, AVA. It's just a lot of shenanigans, a lot of ways to disrupt your opponents. But for PvM, I just don't see it has a lot of legs. I don't see how it has a lot of practicality when it comes to dealing with, especially like endgame monsters. But folks, and let me cut here really quick, and let me switch out to the water set, and we're gonna check out the water build. So see you in a bit. Alright folks, and we are back. Had to switch over to my, well, I had to transfer over my water set from the Inu, and I'm just running the monkey set with the possess set. Nothing crazy, but yeah, so let's dive right in here. Challenge. We are ready to go to check out the water path. So the water path, according to Ankama, the water path will let you inflict indirect damage on opponents with either pushback or poison effects. Oh, pushback, that's interesting. So first off, our water spell we get here is the Xelor Sandglass. Inflicts water damage and teleports the target symmetrically in relation to the caster. Okay, so we go here, and of course again, because the chance, the left side of the spell. Sorry guys, I'm getting all jumbled up. The Xelor's got me all wind up. The blue spell on the left side means that's its default elemental state of the spell. So technically this is a chance spell first and a intelligence spell second. So if we hit the Osa with the sunglass, it gets teleported around us. So this is kind of like a reverse Xelor's punch, where instead of you flipping over the target's flipping over you. So if we do it again, you can use it twice a turn. Deals around 400-ish damage, not too crazy. And let me see. If a telefrag is generated by the spell, the target also suffers a water poison for 2 turns. Okay, so how can we proc it tele? Okay, so if we put a dial over here, look at that, look at that. I'm getting better at this. Put a dial there, so if they're gonna switch positions there. Did I gain that 2 AP? Oh, okay, the dial gains 2 AP. Okay. So they flipped, they switch. So Osa should have a telefrag state and a poison. Sorry. Triggers 10 to 12 water damage, 2 turns. Okay. There's the water damage. Nothing too crazy. And she should get hit by another one. Yep, there it goes. No, okay, nothing, pretty straightforward. Nothing too complicated here. Prismatic variation. When cast through the dial, the damage deflected by the spell takes on the fire. So it just switches elemental states. Let's see, the poison, if applied, also takes... Okay, so it just turns into a fire version of the spell. Nothing too crazy, nothing too complicated. So that is the Xelor sunglasses. Sunglass. Next up is Jet Lag. This is a brand new spell right here. Inflicts water damage and repels the target in the telefrag state. So if we just use a raw, doesn't do anything. It's just raw, straight raw damage. Look at the AOE for this, kind of interesting. Okay, nothing, yeah, nothing crazy. Okay, but if in telefrag state, it pushes 3 cells. Okay, so here, let's do this. Can we do this? Yeah, we can do this. So going off what we learned with the agility path, this got thrown back. So telefrag. And then we want to flip you again. So we can see the pushback damage. And there's 2 lines of pushback. Challenge. Actually with this, we might be able to get away with practicing on a pouch, but since we're here, okay. Let's try it again. Actually, I need the dial. Okay, so the dial here. And then if we sunglass, flip, and then this should, there we go. If you do the preview, you should proc the pushback there. There you go. Nothing too crazy. Actually, this set, does this set have a good amount of pushback? Where's pushback? 48, yeah. That's a decent amount. Nothing too crazy. Okay, so we go here. Okay, so I need, okay. So yeah, obviously once you get very familiar with the Xelor, you're gonna know the spacing to like flip things around. In case we do that, let's put you up there. Could do this to get him into the wall and then get push. Not bad, not bad. This is cool. It takes a little bit of setup, but it's interesting. So that is Jet Lag. Oh, wait, poison damage too, right there. Look at the. Oh, that's Dax. That's Dax. That's nice. How much damage was that? Let me see. It's a decent amount. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but. 800, okay. Next up we do have Temporal Shake. Inflicts water damage each time the telefrag is generated while the target is in the shake state. Alright. Alright, this also is getting beat up very easily. You guys see the difference, right? The air path wasn't really necessarily, it wasn't doing a whole lot of damage, but this one already. Okay, Temporal Shake. That's a good range. Okay, so Temporal Shake. It doesn't do any damage. And then if we telefrag. Okay, let's try that again. Let's just finish this. You know what? I think it might be able to... We're not removing AP or... Let's see. Teleports the caster symmetrically in relation to the dial. Inflicts water damage in the area effect. Okay, yeah, so I think we could go into a pouch. Show this off. I don't think we need a secondary character to show off the draining. Just gonna go here. Okay. So this spell's interesting. Temporal Shake. Inflicts water damage each time that a telefrag is generated. Okay, so let's go here. Here. Okay. So let's go here. So I want to shake the pouch, and we are gonna generate a telefrag. Whoa, 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 whoa! Calm down, calm down. What happened? And then we can do this again. Once per turn, because it consumed. Inflicts water damage each time that a telefrag is generated, while the target is in shake. Okay, I see what it did. So because okay, so let's go back to where it did that crazy thing. Where'd you go? Okay, enters Xelor's dial. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second to figure out what happened. Cast Telefrag Pouch. Also, I'm seeing this minus 5% spell resistance. Enters the Telefrag state 2 turns. So why did it lose 600 damage? It proc 3 times. Okay, let's figure this out, guys. So let's shake it. Oh, jet lag. Not jet lag. Temporal shake on this. Okay, it's got shake 2 turns. And then I'm make it switch like a telefrag. Okay, I see what happened. I see what happened. So the first line of damage here, which is the 381, that is the direct hit of the Xelor Sunglass. And then the 118 is the trigger from the shake because it got put in telefrag. And the second 123, it's the second trigger because the dial got put in telefrag. So if you put something else in the telefrag, it's gonna do a passive amount of damage on this thing again. So again, I hope visually they showed when a character's in the telefrag state. I really do wish they have some sort of visual cue because I can see how this is gonna be overwhelmed and get confusing for a lot of people. Because, yeah, okay. Okay, so let's do that again. I wish I could put more of that. So let's shake that. Let's flip it over. Wait, can I telefrag myself? How can I telefrag myself? Shoot, I wish I had another character. But yeah, I think that's how it works. If you could proc another telefrag, this is going to take another 2 lines of damage. Or another line of damage, pretty much. So anytime there's a telefrag, because he's in this unstable state, it just kind of like messes him up more. Kind of like more noise gets added. more distortion. So that's a kind of way you can think about it. Okay, when it casts through the dial, the spell's area of effect becomes a one cell diagonal. Okay, so let's no, I want to flip. Sorry guys, I'm having like a brain fart here. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go here. Okay. So if I cast it through a dial, okay, I could shake in AoE pretty much. Okay, that's interesting. It doesn't do anything crazy. It just gives you a cross AoE shape, so you could shake more than one. So you could do indirect damage to multiple people pretty much. It's nothing gonna be crazy because at level 6, this is 7 to 8. So yeah, it's just a poison pretty much. Nothing too crazy here. And then next up we do have Pendulum. Okay, this is a lot of green text down there. It's a lot of green text. Teleports the caster symmetrically in relation to the dial. Inflicts water damage in an area of effect around the destination cell. Then teleports a target in this area symmetrically in relation to the caster. After these effects, the caster is teleported to their initial position. What? Okay, so let's do the non-prismatic version. There isn't a prismatic version on this. The spell must target the caster's dial. Okay, so you only can target a dial. So if I do... So if I do it here... Ooh, I like the animation. Okay, so if I... Alright, so let's see. I have an ally over here. If I do this to it... Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Okay, so... Okay, so you guys can see here, if I do it just raw, it's just gonna give me this one square. Actually, you know what, let's go up there. Okay, so let's do this. Huh? What happened? I don't know. I have no idea what happened there. I have no idea. Okay, so if I... Okay, so let's go here. Okay, so if I hit him directly with the pendulum, nothing happens. It doesn't even do damage. Just So this is a must with the... Can't hit him there. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, you have to hit him. You have to reflect off the pendulum. Okay, so what's going on exactly? There's more than one. Okay, so we might have to go into our Osa here. Because I don't know what this is doing. Alright, you know what? Let's go back to our Osa. Guys, make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment. Look at all this work I'm putting to get this information out to you guys. This is a lot of work. This is a lot of work. Trying to break this down for you guys. Okay, so the Osa is here. Okay, let's pass the turn because we don't have access to the dial just yet. Okay, so we're gonna run here. And we're just gonna put a little gob over here. And we're just gonna put one of these guys here. Okay, this guy got in my way. Not good. Okay, let's set the Dow here. Okay, so with this Osa, let's bring this down. There, right? Okay, let's see what happens here. Not sure. What? What is going on? Ooh, this is interesting. This teleports the caster's metric in relation to the dial, inflicts water damage in the area of effect around its destination. Okay, so first off, it does AoE damage. Right? No, because it didn't hit the gob. It did hit the gob. It didn't hit the Osa. Okay, so it hits around. It does. Okay. Okay, so it hits around the where you land. It doesn't do damage to the target itself, but around the target cell. Okay. So we got that. Then teleports the target in this area symmetrically in relation to the caster. Which we saw that happens because the Osa and the Xelor do switch positions. After these effects, the caster is teleported to their initial position. Okay, so you know what? Let's see here. Okay, let's try that one more time. Just gotta get some. Let's go get another gobble over here. Another one of these guys here. Okay, let's see what happens here. I should have pushed this guy. Okay, you know what? Let's try it one more time. Okay, how can I get that gob back to its place? So that koala should flip over. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. This is interesting, and I think this is kind of like a shotgun way to like mass, potentially mass telefrac a lot of things, just out of luck. But you can be calculated about it. So what's happening is the Xelor is teleporting to where the Osa is. When that switch happens, splash damage gets triggered, so things surrounding that AoE space take damage. And then when the Xelor land, and then after that switch, the Xelor acts kind of like the old dial when you would flip stuff over the center. So whatever's in that space gets flipped over, and then the Xelor goes back to where he was. That's interesting. I mean, it looks cool, but that's pendulum. Yeah, really interesting spell. Yeah, you guys can see the AoE there. So the Koala's gonna flip over here. The Gob's gonna flip over the Osa where it's right now. Yeah, but the Osa doesn't take damage. And that's the weird thing about this spell, where like it's more of a utility spell. Yeah, because the Osa's not taking any damage at all. This is weird. It's a weird spell. I think it's unnecessarily complicated. I think just flipping over and where you land, it does AoE damage. I think that's enough. And it should hit the center Osa as well. This is weird. But I'm sure if you shake... Okay, so let's... Can we shake? Okay, so if we hit this guy here... Oh, you know what? Let's try... Okay, let's try the mass shaking here. Okay, so I'm gonna mass shake. Like I said, if I mirror, it's gonna get it's gonna give me the AoE. So this should passively hit the Gabal, just because I'm telefragging myself and the Osa. Oh, wait, my bad. No telefrag happened there. This should hit the Goth, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot of flippy dippy. A lot of flippy dippy stuff. So that's Pendulum. And then the last spell we gotta look at is Temporal Dust. Of course, because this is secondarily a chance spell, we gotta just look at the prismatic variation. When it's cast through a dial, damage inflicted on the spell. Okay, yeah, it just turns into a water. So if we flip over here, and I flip, which is a spell? No. Okay, which is that spell that just flips me? What's this one? Oh no, because I'm doing it on a... Okay, so let's... let's just keep it simple here. Let's go here, let's just summon this guy there. Let's go over here. So let's use that dual mode spell. And yeah, we saw the spell in the when we went over the air path. And I forgot to talk about the spell in the air path as well. I'll talk about the spell too at the end. But pretty much you have access to another spell. Inflicts damage. I should have talked about this. I might have to cut this in. Inflicts damage in the caster's best element and teleports the target back to his previous position. I guess we'll talk about it here. So if we... So this doesn't do anything on dial. So is this just like flight? So this is like flight but with like damage. Yeah, it's just another utility spell. Okay. Okay, so let's do the recap. Recap. Okay, so Xelor Sunglass is kind of like the, it works just like the old Xelor's Punch. But instead of you flipping over the target flips over you. So if we go over... Let's push out the way. So if I want to go here, and I want to put the Osa behind me, she's going to flip over me. That's what it does. And if you telefrag, if you could proc a telefrag while doing this, they're going to take poison for 2 turns. Jet lag. Jet lag is a straight up damage attack, nothing too crazy. But if you could trigger it, if whatever you're hitting has a telefrag state, you're gonna get the bonus or the kicker that it's gonna push them 3 cells, and if they hit a wall, they're gonna take pushback damage. So that's the deal with this guy. Temporal Shake. This is so much, guys. This is so much. Temporal Shake. Each time, so this is kind of like a passive thing. Each time you proc a telefrag, whatever has a shake state on it, they're gonna take damage. So if I put let's see, say if I put a shake on the Gob here, but I'm gonna telefrag the Osa. The Gob should take damage here. There you go, 99. So that's what that does. And then Pendulum. This one's weird. This spell you can only use it while reflecting over the dial. So you're gonna reflect yourself over to the target, and when you spawn or when you land in that cell, it's gonna do AoE damage around you. After the damage, you're gonna flip over whatever's in that AoE space. So if we go back here, so let's do this here. Okay, also died. Okay, let's go back into here. Let's put the Osa over here. And then we'll set our dial. Over here. Okay, so you have to target your tile for this one. You can see the AoE spell space right here. So the Xelor is going to land where the Osa is. They're going to switch positions. The damage is going to be in that AoE space. You see here in red. And whatever's in that same red area, they're going to flip over you. And then once they flip over you, you're going to flip back to where the Osa is. So you're going to switch. You're going to pop in, do damage, flip things around, and then you're going to pop back out. Kind of looks cool. It's kind of weird. It's kind of funky, but it's interesting nonetheless. So that is it, folks. And then, of course, you guys have the extra time theft spell, which is gonna all the elemental branches have the spell open. It's purple, but that means whatever is your highest stat is gonna take that stat. This being water, it's gonna hit in water. It doesn't have any mirror shenanigans. Just a straight up direct damage hit. And it's gonna act much like these spells where it's gonna push them back to wherever's their last cell that we're on. But you know, it's decent damage on it, nothing too crazy. And then you could pop things back and forth like this. And you can do it again here. It's like see. Yeah, there's another spell that flips. I don't know. You guys get it. You guys get it. Actually, can we do anything here with support? No. You could increase poison damage. You could do that with this Capophalia spell. Okay, so let's... Let's see that in action. Okay, so let's put you there. Okay, let's end a turn here. Okay, so we are going to not shake, jet lag. No, not jet lag. Which is the poison one? I'm getting so confused, guys. I'm sorry. No, this is not poison. This is not. Is this poison? No. Oh, the first one's poison. Okay, so let's... Okay, so Xelor Sunglasses is a poison spell, so we do that. Right? Shoot, I'm getting myself confused. Sorry, guys. Okay, I see. Okay, we're gonna end our turn really quick. Oh, okay, I see. Because I'm mirroring myself, so the Osa needs to be here in the middle. You know what? Let's just run over there. One, two, three. Okay, let's do that. Okay, this should work now. Sorry, guys. So I do this. Oh, so I should have some poison now. There he goes. Trigger, turn into water, and then I can use that crazy support spell with the brain. Cephalogia. And that should give her another set. 2 turns. That should go to 3. I don't know what happened. Alright, that was a recap. That's the water one. If you like the water one, let me know. If this is something that interests you. It's a little funky, it's a little bit weird. I'm sure if you... I don't know, I feel like this is another PvP oriented build. Like, I don't see a lot of this stuff being that practical during fighting monsters in Fragos, Plantala, and stuff like that. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Oh no, what's going on? I had such high hopes. But alright folks, let me get the challenges set onto my Xelor and we'll be right back. And we are back. This time we're gonna look at the fire elemental path, which according to Ankama, this path will let you heal allies and casters when generating a telefrag or using a prismatic variation. So because this this path has a little bit of healing, we're gonna have an ally here with our Osa. Osa is joining us here again to kind of show off the heals. Get in there, ready and ready. Okay. So first off, we are gonna look at Dark Ray. Dark Ray inflicts fire damage and steals range. Pretty straightforward. Actually, we're gonna move the Osa here out of the way. So you guys can see. Okay, so Dark Ray. It pretty much works more or less the way it used to work. Shoots a beam of lightning. Oh, there we go. That's Dark Ray. And of course, for the set, I'm not using a full dedicated intelligence set because I don't have one. But I'm using more of a intelligence agility set with that's a big emphasis on heals. But this should be good enough to kind of showcase not the damage, but more or less the practicality of the spells and the functionality of them as well. So nothing too crazy here. So the damage, you know, none of these branches say anything about damage, which kind of worries me because at the end of the day, damage is how you win fights, right? It's how you get the win. There's only one win condition, and like 99% of all the fights are gonna do, and it's to reduce your enemy's health to 0. So yeah. So maybe, hopefully, if you have a full dedicated intelligence set for your build, it's gonna deal a little bit more damage. But I mean, we have. I mean, throwing in power, we do have like 1,000 points worth of intelligence there. So that's Dark Ray. So Dark Ray does have a prismatic variation. Again, prismatic variation is when you reflect the spell off a dial. And this what it does: when it is cast through the dial, the spell inflicts fire damage in an area of effect and heals the caster and its allies in an area of effect. Okay, so let's. I kind of want to get this. Alright, so let's move this pouch here out of the corner. Okay, let's throw some stuff out there. And I'm gonna go in here and just deal some little damage on these guys. Can I deal damage? Let's see. Yeah, let's just pass. So let's say the Osa is over here somewhere. Let's see, let's try to get the Osa around. Whack her with the hammer. Okay, I think we should be good. Okay, so say the Osa here. You know, it's got the enemy surrounded. You got your allies there. And then you're like, oh man, they're taking a lot of damage. Let me heal him up a little bit. Let me heal up the crew. So you're gonna throw out the dial here. And when you throw Dark Ray into it, you can't really see it too well, but it does have a cross of 2 cells wide. And there you go, more or less, that's how it works. You're going to do damage and you're going to heal a good chunk too. 300, and you can do it again. It's actually not bad. Not bad. What does that look like, the crit? For almost 400 damage for, 400 heals. 4 AP, that's not bad, really. So it's weird that the intelligence Osa is like a healer. It makes sense because, you know, they can turn back time and kind of heal, reverse heal wounds, stuff like that. But I still find it a little bit weird that the intelligence Xelor, like, this is like one of its main components. It's the healing. So that's Dark Ray for you. Next up, we do have Xelor's Fist. This used to be a Earth spell, a pretty hard-hitting Earth spell, but let's see what it does now. Inflicts fire damage and teleports a caster symmetrically relative to the target. If an ally is teleported by this spell, they are healed. Okay, So does this work more or less? Yeah, so this more or less works like the same Xelor's punch or Xelor's fist, where you you flip over your target, and of course if you flip over, that's gonna do a telefrag state. But if you flip over an ally, that's gonna heal him. Right? Did I read that right? If an ally is teleported by the spell, they are healed. Alright, so let's go over here. Oop, my bad. Okay, let's go there. Nothing happened. If an ally is teleported by the spell, they are healed. Okay, so let's bring you here. This stupid thing got it away. Okay, so if I... Sorry guys, I don't know if this is confusing or not. Because this teleports me. Okay, so... Okay, I see what's going on. I think the wording confused me. So if you get teleported onto an ally, so this should heal the Osa. Here, let me whack. Okay, whacked a bunch of guys there. There we go. Okay, so the wording here is a little bit weird. So if you teleport yourself into an ally, due to you flipping over, they get healed, and of course they proc the telefrag, and both of you guys get the extra AP bonus. How much did they heal? At 300, not bad. Can you do this again? This is one. Yeah, I can do it again. Oh no, one per turn, one per target. Not bad. It just so happened to be in the way, you know, they get extra HP. Cool. Next up is hand. Hand. Inflicts fire damage on the target. The damage is greater if the target is in a telefrag state. Okay, we went over this in our air agility path overview. So because the Osa here, actually, you know what, okay, so the Osa is in telefrag state, right? One turn. Okay, so let's hit the Osa again. Okay, we hit the Osa and then we just raw a hand onto the Osa. That did not work. That did not work. Okay, why did it not work? Okay, that hits that. Okay, so if we go here, just put a dial over here, and we're just gonna telefrag this guy over there, and we're gonna do it. So technically the hand did a little bit of extra damage there. But I want to see the heal. Okay, you just can't throw it raw. Inflicts fire damage on the target. The damage is greater. Oh, okay, I see. I see what I'm doing wrong. I gotta flip it over. So, okay. If I go here, and if I throw a dial here, and then if I... Nope, not that one. And yep, I Xelor's Fist. Got the heal there, and there should be extra heal. There we go. Nice. Over there, we put it on. Sorry guys, doing these videos back to back. It's a little bit confusing because some of these spells you're flipping over. Some of these spells they're flipping over you. Ooh, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So there you go. That's almost 1,000 heals right there, just to pull off that move, which is not bad. But again, I'm looking for damage here because that is the win condition. That is the win condition. So that is hand. Okay, and can you just... Next up, we have Conservation. Another healing spell. Heals the targeted ally each time a Telefract state is generated while they are in conservation state. So this spell, if I'm not too tired, is pretty much the opposite of Shake. Except Shake goes onto your enemies and hits it hits them. This goes onto your allies and it heals them. Okay, let's try it out. I think we need to do a little extra damage on this Osa here. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, so I'm gonna hit it with Conservation. Cause I go, okay, you know what? Let's hit those a little bit more. Let's hit all these guys. Let's do one more. Okay, I think, yeah, we're good there. We're gonna summon that dial again. Here. Okay, so we throw Conservation onto the Osa, our ally. Ooh, we crit. Nice. 3 turns. So we go here and we do Flippy Dip. So because there's going to be 2 Telefract states generated, I think that was going to get healed twice. 1, 2, there, 3. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because last time we saw 3. Yeah, because it heals directly, but the pass. Okay, yeah. So you could throw this on the Osa just willy nilly. So the Xelor actually has a direct healing spell. Am I reading that right? I'm reading that right. And this is once per turn. Okay, so I could just be like be over here. It's like, oh man, the Osa's kind of low. No, Conservation. No, I think Shake was like this too, where you couldn't do it raw. You have to do it over. Okay, so if we go here, we do that, and then if we mirror it, yeah, it's gonna give us like. So we should hit like Gob over there. No, okay. So it doesn't do anything. So it might be a bug or not, I don't know. But this 29 to 26, it's not, you can't do it raw. I don't know what's going on. But this is just a straight up healing spell. It's just like Shake. Instead of the poison water thing. And then of course you have Xelor's Sandglass that it does poison damage and fire. So if we go over here, so we go over here, we telefrag with the pouch. Okay, yeah, and then we healed because they're still in they're still in conservation state. And then that pouch have poison. Oh, where's the poison? I don't know where the poison is. Did I do it right? Okay, where's the poison? Okay, so you are in telefrag. Might be a bug that's not proccing, but yeah, the pouch should have little lines of fire. Because if we do the let's see if the water one procs. Oops, accidentally ended my turn there. Okay, yeah, I'm not proccing the poison. Teleports the target to the caster telefrag state. Wait, just by hitting him? Wait, is it just this then? Oh, maybe because it's a pouch, it doesn't take the... I don't know, sometimes where it was working when I had the... another player as an opponent as opposed to just the pouch. But, yeah, so, I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm misreading. And of course you have the universal... Is it time theft? Yeah, time theft. So, alright guys, let's I gotta be honest guys. I'll save it for my my impression video segment here here at the end. But let's recap the fire spells. Dark Ray, more or less works the same way it used to work, except if you reflect it off the dial, it's going to give you a cross AoE area where any allies caught in the AoE area are going to get healed. It does a good amount of healing. Let me show that off here really quick. Oh, and it's only linear too. So let me flight back there. There you go. So it does like a crossing. Kind of straightforward-ish. But I think you can pull off the healing with a little bit of consistency with the right placement of the dial. Xelor's Fist, it more or less works the same way Xelor's Punch used to work, where the spell would flip you over the target. But if you flip over with an ally, it's gonna heal them. So let me do that. If you so happen to switch positions with an ally due to you flipping over, this should heal that also here. There we go. Hand. This one's a little bit of a direct damage here. You can just throw that willy-nilly. But if they are in a telefract state, which I think the Osa is now, but I think the Osa is in max HP. Yeah, I don't know if this one's supposed to heal just throwing it raw like that. Oh no, you have to. Okay, so for hand, you do have to mirror it to get the heals. So even though it might look like, again, this is beta, it might clarify this a little bit better. But yeah, if you mirror hand over the dial, you get the heals on the ally. Conservation works just like Shake, except instead of a spell that deals damage to your opponents, poison damage for 2 turns. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Conservation is the counterpart to Temporal Shake. They more or less work the same, just in different elements. As with the water one, affects your enemies and deals damage to them. The fire intelligence variant applies to your allies and it heals them. So they do the same thing, it's just one heals, one deals damage. Xelor Sunglass works more or less the same. If you cause a telefrag when you're doing your teleporting thing, you're gonna do a fire poison onto your enemy. So, and then that's pretty much it, guys. That is the fire. Let me know if you like the fire variant. It's weird. It's like more. I don't know. I'll save it for later, guys. But that is the fire one. All right, let's jump into my comments, my thoughts, my opinions, my feedback, and stuff like that. So, all right. So let me see you in a little bit here. Let me reset this. And we are back here once and finally again with kind of my impressions and thoughts of the Xelor. Of course, I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you drop a like, sub if you haven't. And I was excited for the Xelor because Xelor is an interesting class. They could do a lot of dynamic stuff with it, and they did. It's it has some cool stuff where I can see where people who like really master using the Xelor, who really get to know the ins and outs of positioning and dial placement and stuff like that. It could be a lot of fun to watch, and it could be a lot of fun for those people who are a little bit more tactical and a little bit more calculated in how they do things. With that being said, I do feel that the Xelor, this version of the Xelor, is unnecessarily complicated. I wish they would have streamlined at least one branch to just keep it simple. It's just a direct damage, right? Maybe just teleporting things. I think the intelligent branch should have been that. The healing thing, this is a little bit too much heals for my liking, especially for a Xelor. At this point, just, if you want to do healing with a, like if you want to do healing, just play an any, right? Just play an any. I think the fire branch should have been like the spell casting variant, where he's just like throwing off spells pretty much. I mean, it does happen to be intelligence. Intelligence is related to fire, so he's just throwing fire spells, right? This should have been straightforward, simple, and easy, how it used to be. I do. So that's my impression with intelligence. I'm not too hot on it. I did like the intelligence Xelor. I think it was right in line with what it needed to be, which is kind of straightforward. This one doesn't have a whole lot of like teleportation or stuff like that. But that being said, I do see Xelors running other spells for utility, right? Like, of course, you're gonna need to like push back people one cell and flip yourself over rather than them over, stuff like that. So you are gonna need a mix and match of these spells, regardless of whatever elements of branch you commit to. I do feel like the developer's intention is to have the Xelor as a kind of avatar type character, where just a master of the elements, right? You're throwing agility spells, you're throwing water spells, you're throwing fire spells, not necessarily to like do loads of damage, but just to like disrupt your enemy and disrupt the field to put yourself in a better position. Damage wise, I don't think any of these branches stuck out as like this is a damage dealing. If you want to deal damage as a Xelor, this is the path you want to take, which worries me because like I mentioned throughout my the overview of these three branches, is like at the end of the day, right, damage is how you win battles, is how you win the game, right? And the thing that always, there was a few things that held the Xelor back from being like endgame viable, and that was one, the damage output was never there, unless you were an Earth Xelor, a Strange Xelor, right? Like that was the main thing, like but it was mainly just Xelor's Fist and like just hitting hard with the weapon. But other than that, like the other elements of branches, like they were never like hard hitting or anything like that. And the other thing that made the Xelor special was of course like the AP removal, which I talked about it in my devlog video, where like the more you go up in level, the more you go in difficulty, the less effective AP removal becomes. And that was the whole point of the Xelor, right? AP manipulation, stuff like that. It did keep a little bit of that with the agility branch, but like removing 4 AP from endgame enemies, it's not going to do you any favors. Again, damage is how you win games, not by removing AP or dipping over enemies and putting these guys over here, right? There is some practical use, because the Xelor did suffer from positioning. I had a good friend, the Xelor was the main thing, and her biggest complaint was that she couldn't move things when she wanted to move things, right? She was, her character was a big crutch when running endgame dungeons, because she couldn't move things, right? Of course, there was release, but release had a cooldown of like every other turn. So if it came to the turn where like say for Klein, for example, right, where she was she needed to make Klein vulnerable, right? That turn, right? So because everything's set up, but then her release is on cooldown because she had to use it to push an enemy out of the way, so she could get to a glyph, so she wouldn't get auto killed, right? So that was one of the biggest complaints she had, and yeah, this Xelor definitely has a lot of positioning options. It really great position options. It's definitely it's different, but yet it's the same too. Like flight, it's kind of weird. I wish it was more of a mobility thing. Of course, it shows a foot. It still has the same icon, right? Flight. You figure like the Xelor starts like hovering, right, and just moving around freely. But no, it kind of pushes. It kind of like I sent you back in time. That's what it does. It's so. Yeah, there you go. Just fly back to the beginning. Just fly back to the beginning. The water one. I didn't see anything too crazy with it either. Anything that. It's not doing anything spectacular, and that's the thing. That's the thing with all these three branches. It's not doing anything like. It's not doing anything that sticks out. That's unique to the Xelor. That hasn't been done right. Well, like we know the Xelor. I don't know. It's maybe I was spoiled because the Xelor in Waven is freaking amazing and it's fun to play. Like all branches of it, like they have their own unique kind of like play styles, their own unique little quirks. The Water Xelor is about like AP. The Fire Xelor is about blowing stuff up and so on, right? They'll all have like their own archetypes, and here it's just like a mix mash of like different things, and I get it. I get it why they did this, because Xelor is, you know, it is a complex character, a complex archetype, but then but the thing is the complexity of these spells here. I don't see them being a positive or making things easier in the end game as the enemies get harder, right? Like pushing enemies one square here, one square there, it doesn't matter when they could just teleport, jump, even get into like rooted gravity states, right? So I do feel, even though, you know, I'm sure a lot of effort was put into coming up with this current Xelor, I don't feel like it's a step above to what we had already, and I'm sad to say that, because so far the Any was like the best revamp they had. Like they took a generic healer character and they made it slow diverse and dynamic, and it all fit within the archetype of like the Any, right? They did an amazing job. I know the Craw, some people love it and hate it, but personally I love what they did with the Craw. Same with the Sacrier, like they moved it away from like just being an HP tank, and they gave it just so much more diversity, more ways for people to think of a Sac that they wouldn't have otherwise, right? When you think of Sacrier, just HP and tank. That was all the Sacrier was like pigeonholed to, but no, they really opened up the Sacrier. And then who else did they revamped? Those three guys, they did an amazing job, but and again, for those guys, I think it was like a step above. Like, okay, like this is definitely an improvement, right? Because this Any, right? It was a healer. That's all it was pigeonholed to. You never thought that Any was like a healer character or like position character. No, it was a healer. But the way they designed Any, they just opened up the character and like the character design so well. And I think that this Xelor just doesn't hit a lot of those marks. And it's a shame. I think if I were to pick like my favorite one out of all of these, it would be the agility Xelor, and that's strictly because I do see this being viable in PvP. I do see people picking this up and still doing their AP removal shenanigans and disrupting the field and jumping over here, jumping over there, and stuff like that. The healing stuff, I mean, sure, maybe, if you're gonna be healing in Frigos, but then again, if you're gonna be healing stuff, like you're not really contributing to like ending the fight any faster, right? And same with the water one. There's like nothing special about it. Like it's pushing back from with this one spell pushes back. It's like, oh, okay. and that's it. It's like, I don't know, man. Am I the only one? Am I not seeing something? Am I missing something? Am I missing something that I'm not seeing that you guys maybe see? But yeah, I'm not feeling any of these paths. Like it doesn't feel fun. It feels like a lot of work for little payoffs. You guys saw how much I struggle, like just explaining this stuff. It's like, okay, I gotta put this guy in a telefract state. And then once he's telefract state, I need to make my way over so I can hit him with this, so I can trigger this thing off. It's just so much. So much. I wish I would have kept all the positioning stuff to, you know, the air branch. You know, kept the AP removal stuff, or they should have kept the air path, the agility path, as a positioning branch, right? This is the branch where you're doing all the flippy dippy stuff and you're getting perks for flipping over stuff, jumping over here, jumping over there, right? If you want to play that style where you're just zipping over the place, this is your build, right? The water build should have been like the time manipulator build, where it's like, okay, this is the build where you're reducing AP and MP, and you're using like this cool like effects, clock effects to do so, right? This is your time build. The fire build should have been just your spell slinger build, or it's just like straight up direct damage. Like, yeah, you're not doing any fancy flippy dippy stuff. You're casting spells. That's what it should have been in my book. But then again, I'm not a designer on this. I'm sure they had an idea for it, but yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I'm definitely a little bit disappointed. I hope. I don't know what the consensus is in regards to the Xelor Revamp. I don't know what people are thinking, but so I would love to hear what you guys think. But so far, I don't know. I was hyped for the Xelor. I was really hyped. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. I wanted to make a Xelor, right? But it's just needlessly complicated for little payoffs. And man, they could do so much. They could do so much with it. And that's the big disappointing part, where like they had the field was wide open for this thing, right? Yeah, the damage is not, because I know for this intelligence build, I know I'm not exactly wearing like an optimal intelligence set, but even if Darkrai hit like 500 or 600, alright, that's 1,000 damage for 8 AP already. I'm only left with 4. So say, you know, let's give it some, let's be generous here. Let's say Darkrai hits for 500-ish, right? 2 of them is like 1,000. And then you could do this for another like 400, so you're getting like 1,400 points, 1,400 worth of damage. Which I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. Of course, yeah, I mean, you have Mummy too, but then you gotta use 3 AP for that. Yeah, I just feel the damage is so low across the board. And from the looks of it, because I mean, it looks like that was their intention. Their intention was never to make like a damage path, which I think all classes should have a damage path. Because again, damage is how you build the game. Damage is how, you know, you contribute to the fight. Am I missing anything? I don't know. Some of the spell animations are cool. I do wish there was more visual cues with the stuff. Especially when it comes to like, okay, this thing got poisoned. I don't know if it got poisoned or not. I don't know if this is in a telefrag or not. I'm glad they did the whole preview thing because, man, this would have been a whole freaking mess. Temporal Prison was probably my favorite spell. Yeah, the healing is so weird. I would understand if it had like one healing spell. But to make it all healing... It's a little funky. It's a little funky. Like, just have the whole branch dedicated to healing. But, alright guys. Yeah, this is it. This is the hands-on of the new Xelor. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's more or less gonna stay the same, but I hope, you know, if people have constructive criticism with their approach of the revamp, I hope they listen to it. Yeah, because this Xelor, it's not fun. It's not fun, and that's the biggest thing with the class. Is it fun to play? Would I recommend this class to somebody? Right? And answer is straight up no. I wouldn't. I can see it being fun in PvP, but we all know PvP is a small portion of the player base. People mainly play Touch for PvM content, and yeah, none of these branches seem viable for... They don't seem like a big advantage of... Or a big... A big step up from the previous Xelor, which, in my opinion, it was fine. It was fine. Oh yeah, a little disappointed. A little disappointed. You can't tell already. Some spells are neat. Some like this crazy pendulum spell, but again, like, how's that gonna win? How is this gonna help me win a fight with Climb? Pendulum. It doesn't even do damage to whatever you're hitting. Right? How's this gonna help me win? Oh, imagine this in Count Herborg. But yeah, guys. So that is my opinion. These are my impressions. But if you like it, let me know. Let me know. Until next time, this has been Channel GX. Take care of yourself, and peace.